We're at the National Dairy Shrine Museum in 2012. We're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Klussendorf Award, and we have a special display here in the atrium of the museum that is dedicated to the Klussendorf Trophy and all of the winners. Art Klussendorf was lost way too soon, and several of his friends got together and said we should create an award to honor Art Klussendorf because he was such an outstanding person, a great showman, a great human being, and we should have people that have that kind of attributes to be selected. So every year since that time, they've been selecting Klussendorf winners. This has become one of the great show ring traditions that we have in the industry, and at every national show, this award is one of the most prestigious awards to win. The Klussendorf winners are a pantheon of some of the great breeders of the breed, the great showmen of the breeds, and they encompass all of the different breeds, and every breed has their own representatives. It's really an honor for a person to be named to this group, and this award has also spawned other awards. We have the Duncan McKenzie Award, which goes to a person that is working in the barns behind the scenes. We have the Merle Howard Award, which goes to a younger person, a junior age showman, that also exhibits great attributes. We have the Woodrow Nunemaker Award, which is given to, again, some people, and the Al Hay Award, which is another Klussendorf winner who also is on the West Coast. So we've spawned a lot of awards that really talk about the honor and glory of the show ring and the great people that are involved in it. And it's really a pleasure for the Dairy Shrine to highlight the attributes of these great individuals. It's 2012. We're at the National Dairy Shrine Museum, and we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Klussendorf Award. With us today is George Barlas, one of the recipients. George, tell us about this award.
Well, I won the award in 1972, 40 years ago this year, which came as a real surprise to me. I wasn't really as old as many of the previous winners, and it was a real shock. And this was during the North American show in Columbus, Ohio, when they had the fire that year, and the show had to be stopped during the show because of the fire. And we were out in the show ring showing heifer calves when they come in and announced the barn was on fire. I had two in the ring. I was showing one, and the fella helping me was holding the other one. He said he'd hold it while I run over the barn, and I got in the barn, and the flames were coming right through the barn there, so everybody was grabbing cattle and taking them out of the barn and tying them up all around the fairgrounds, around the racetrack, and that's when they had aged bulls, and it was huge bulls tied all around. And we had one heifer that we couldn't find that got out of the fairgrounds, so it was across the street, but it was quite an event, and this beautiful trophy at that time thought was lost because everything was burnt, and they thought it was in the office down there. But fortunately, the winner of the previous year from California did not return it, and they sent it to me, and it was pure black, and my wife polished it all up and brought it out in the barn while I was milking cows that evening, and couldn't admire any more how beautiful it was. And it was really an honor and a shock to me to win it. And it's, like I say, a real honor and be compared with the previous winners. Well, my father's uncle and his aunt purchased Gilbar Farm in 1927. And my father was farm manager. My uncle was herdsman. And they started showing they imported cattle from the island of Jersey, which is between England and France, where the Jerseys originated. And some of those first cattle came from the island of Jersey. They actually started with Jerseys and Guernseys, but they sold the Guernseys to some breeder in Missouri, and I understand one of the cows was their high production winner in the state that year. But since then, their farm then now is, 85 years? And our son and grandson are running the farm now, milking, between 100 and 125 cows and farming around 600 acres. But we were fortunate to be premier breeder at our state fair 48 years, and I don't know how many champions we had. And last year at the World Dairy Expo, we were one of the ones, I think the only one at that time, to win premier breeder the most at the Dairy Expo 16 years, and had Supreme Champion in 19 1986 was the Jersey to be the first Supreme Champion, and they wanted her for the sale, and she topped the sale that year for $23,000, which is the highest price ever for a Jersey in Wisconsin. And I don't believe there has been a cow that succeeded that through a public sale, maybe privately. So we were fortunate enough to have a lot of champions. We had championed that same cow that we sold to come back and was Supreme, like I said, the first Supreme champion Jersey at the World Air Expo. So we were fortunate to, I guess, use the right kind of bulls and have a little luck, like always goes with winning cattle. And it's been a great ride for us. We've met so many wonderful people and got to show, and I got to judge quite a few shows throughout, 26 shows in the United States and 8 foreign countries. And I've counted up, I think, every major show in the United States and Canada and some of the national shows in other countries. So we've really been fortunate. I'm sure I wouldn't have got to a lot of these places if it wasn't for the Jersey cow and for the opportunity to work with a lot of good people. We've met so many wonderful people, and it's just been a thrill. And we've certainly enjoyed it. I'm 81 years old now, so I'm at the point of life where I say there's nothing to look forward to, so all I do is reminisce about the past. So one of the things I reminisce about is all the wonderful people I've met.
It's 2012. We're at the National Dairy Shrine Museum. We're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Klussendorf Award. And with us is the 1998 winner, Clark Vilter. Clark from Four Winds Farms. What a great honor for the Klussendorf.
It was totally unexpected. I can remember walking across the colored shavings to the middle of the ring wondering if I was going to get there because my knees were shaking so bad. Like I say, it was totally unexpected. I had no idea I was to receive this. And it really has me in awe because when I was little, I used to read the list of the Klussendorf winners and just think the world of the people that had won it. I knew some of them I didn't, but I had heard of them. But I thought to myself when I had this trophy in my hand for the first time, this is really an honor, something I'll never forget. We had a herd of Guernseys for many, many years. We dispersed about a year and a half ago. I'm not getting any younger, and I was starting to have some health issues physically for taking care of the cattle, so we did disperse. We kept one old cow that was not saleable, and we're getting embryos out of her, and the resulting heifers, we are showing a few heifers. But the days of having a full string of cattle are long gone now. We had a tremendous run. Somebody told me we had, I guess, 280 some All-American nominations in our career, which blows my mind. It's something we worked at, and I guess with some luck and maybe a little bit of skill, not a whole lot, we were pretty successful, I guess. Probably the cow that put us on the map, so to speak, was a cow called Westland Tom D. And she was found by Mark Reith and Randy Cordes out in the northwestern corner of the state of Washington. And she came to us as a 2-year-old. And in the succeeding years, we had Grand Champion here at World Dairy Expo with her for 4 years. She's one of a handful of cows to accomplish that feat. And she turned out to be a brood cow that probably to date is one of the best in the Guernsey breed. Her daughters were good, her granddaughters were good. We're now showing her great-granddaughters. And I hope they continue to reproduce. We have a bull called Four Winds Showtime. It's a full sister to the cow that I didn't sell. He would be a great-grandson of Tom D. He's been the premier sire here at Expo, and he's still being used quite heavily. When we had our dispersal, somebody told me that there was 32 trailers parked in the parking lot, and the cattle went into 16 different states, and we had just slightly over a $5,000 average on the whole herd. They told me there was 700 people in the shed for the sale, which blew my mind. We couldn't have picked a more rotten day if we'd have tried. We had a blizzard. These people stayed till the bitter end, and I never saw a crowd that big vacate a place so quick in my life. All this would not have been possible without the help of my wife Joy and my 3 children, Tim, Tina, and Jim. For that, I'm eternally grateful. I've been blessed to have, I think, the most wonderful wife.
It's 2012. We're at World Dairy Expo, and with me is Bert Stewart, one of the winners of the Klussendorf Award. And this year is the 75th anniversary of the Klussendorf Award. Bert, how's it feel to be a Klussendorf member?
Well, it was a very exciting day when my name was called out to win the Klussendorf. 25 years ago, I thought I had a chance, but I thought I had been bypassed and forgot about, but it was pretty exciting when it happened. My life has been very much involved in the show business for many, many years. If I live to see the Royal Winter Fair this year, I'll be attending 64 consecutive Royals without a miss. And I've missed the first 2 Madisons, but I've been at every one since that. So the 2 shows have been a big part of my life. I've judged most of the shows and I've judged all the breeds at World Dairy Expo, and I've judged all the breeds except the Ayrshires at the Royal. And it's been a life that certainly I'll never forget. But being selected to the Klussendorf Association, right now they've made me vice president. I don't know why, but it's certainly been a big honor for me. Well, I've led 16 grand champions at the Royal, but I was fortunate because I showed 6 grand champion bulls of different breeds. The best Jersey cow, in fact, I think one of the best Jersey cows of all time, was Duncan Bell. And I showed her at the Royal. She was once reserve and twice grand. And to me, when I was leading her, I thought I had a real machine. The other, I think the best Holstein cow I led was Paul Eckstein's Francisco. She was also a great specimen to have in your hands. But one time at the Royal, I led 3 Royal Grand Champions in a row, all different cows, and that was pretty exciting as well. But I've been blessed because my health has been on my side, and people have asked me to lead a lot of good cows for them. Thanks. I've been asked, what does it take to be a good leadsman? I guess knowing what's wrong with the cow that you're leading is probably the most important. If you're going to be a good leadsman, you've got to go out in the ring and try and rectify things that might be wrong or against you. You need to know the cow's disposition. Taking a hold of a cow and she has a disposition problem, it can create a problem for you too. So not every person can just take a hold of a cow and walk into the ring, and I've had some problems with some cows. I had a problem with a bull that he wouldn't do anything for me, but he'd lead for other people. So I think being able to relax and get out there and be ready to compete with the best, because if you're going to win, you're up against the best all the time, and being able to move around and keep them right all the time, it's technique, but it's being able to relax and know what's wrong with the cow that you've got, and you show her to rectify what you can. For the Klussendorf, well, we all vote on the Mackenzie Award, and then only the Klussendorf people vote on the Klussendorf. There are 3 nominations this year, and it's what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. So somebody will be a winner, and that will be announced Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, when the junior March calves are being shown. So everybody will have to wait until Friday to find out who the winner is, and certainly we'll be very happy to, whoever it is, we'll be happy to have a new member. We had a tough year. We lost some great people this year, and we'll be happy to have a new member.